Record on this computer. Okay, I think we're working. Okay, this is the first meeting of the semester. I do have some slides. They're right here on a sticky note on my phone. We are back. A few things we need to talk about. First of all, in the email, I talked about Bill Richards being here tonight. No, Bill Richards is here next week. But I'm going to tell you what he's going to talk about next week. Okay. Who knows who? Everybody know who Bill Richards is? No. Well, Bill Richards. What? Don't put crap in there. Okay. So Bill Richards, I met him, I'd say mid-90s, back at Tinker when we literally surfed the entire internet when there was 5 websites. He has been real big in Unix Linux forever, and he teaches our Unix Linux class. So if you have to take it, he's an excellent instructor to take it from. You'll learn a lot. But he's been wanting to do this project for about 2 years. What this project is a weather balloon. We actually purchased a weather balloon, Raspberry Pis, and all the tracking stuff. It's actually going to be creating the system, writing the stuff to make it all work, and we're actually going to launch a weather balloon and track it and find it. Sometime we're expecting probably late spring, early fall, but it's going to be a project for students to be involved in. He's going to manage it. Him and this one other guy, I forget his name. Here, you want to see less of my face? Who's that? No. So, but yeah, they're going to manage it, and it'll be a great experience for students to learn about something different. I mean, so it'll be real world stuff. It's, I don't know, it'll be kind of cool. What's he doing?
Scoot over this way just a bit. The other. Okay, we can't see Kim, that's good.
Oh yeah, there, that better? Now we'll aim it up a little bit so you can see my hair.
You don't see yourself?
I can see myself. That was over here on purpose.
Look down.
Okay, fine. But none of you have your cameras on.
Do you want me to sit behind you?
I usually have no one's cameras on. All right. Up. Oh, wow. Bob? Okay, so that's one thing we're going to do. So Bill will be here next week to talk about their project, which will be very interesting. I hope. Is anyone remotely interested in this at all?
Yes.
A couple of you? Okay, good. And it'll be a great experience. Those of you on the NSF grant this semester, I don't know how many is on there, but I've had multiple people ask, so I figured it was a good time to tell it. Activities are not required this semester, they're recommended. I just don't have the time to manage it this semester, and it got to be such an issue last semester. So this semester, all we're really requiring is grade checks. And I would appreciate if you participate in other stuff, because it does help. Okay, all right. Few other things we need to talk about. Ethics. I know it's a very boring topic, but we actually have a world use of the topic now. Particularly in the forensics. We just bought some software that has a certain number of licenses. When we get to that point, I'm going to let you install it, even on your home machines. But I'm going to tell you when we're done with it, you need to remove it. Okay? So, how does that involve ethics? Well, we got Matt over here. It is Matt, isn't it? What happens if Matt doesn't remove it? Yeah, it's then stolen software. Okay? But the point is, you know, I can only ask you to do things like that. And there's a lot of stuff, you know, there's one thing that's called perpetual software, perpetual licenses. I used to, when I ran a computer company, I used to sell McAfee antivirus. And I would buy the licenses. They were perpetual licenses. I haven't seen you in forever. No, you keep reminding me of Grant. You're not Grant. Okay, you're a younger version. But no, the perpetual licenses means I would buy the software and I would resell it to my clients. The software never expired. I could install it 8,000 times. It never expired. But I would buy so many licenses. Then each year the company would come back to me, okay, Ken, you bought 50 last year. How many do you want this year? Okay. So it's more of a you're on your honor thing. So a lot of stuff happens that way. River State gives all faculty and staff access to Office stuff in Windows and stuff like that. They don't really, they do track it, but not really. Okay, they can give it to anybody, any worker on campus for free. It's up to the school to just not give it out because there's not a limit on it. Okay, do you understand how ethics comes into play and that kind of stuff? Okay, especially when you have people like Colton and David and
Pumpkinhead with the dog.
she's hiding back there. You know, there comes a time in your life when you might have to answer for things like that.
So you don't have access to basically disabled.
I cannot disable the software. Okay. Other software like FTK and Ncase, we use a licensing server. I can very easily disable that. Not all software comes that way. Okay.
This is a WinRAR scenario.
Does WinRAR work that way? I've never.
They tell you to buy it or stop
Okay.
using it.
Well, it's kind of like y'all remember WinZip? I actually bought it. No, I for years, if I use software, I buy it. Well, first of all, it's a tax write-off for my company anyway, so why not buy it? It's either give the money to the government or give it to the software manufacturers. And I used to write software. I sold software that I wrote, so it's nice to get paid. But so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing with some of the software. Other software, Ncase and them are much more expensive, so they can afford to create licensing servers and stuff like that. Okay. So Cameron, you can keep up with the chat if there's any questions.
Of course.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be going to a class in March 20th. So if I'm not in class that week, just remember, I already told you. So March 20th, I'm going in class for a week down to Dallas. I'm going to CEH training. Y'all know what that is? Certified Ethical Hacker training. It also includes Metasploit Pro training. So I'm going to be doing that. It's from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. each day with an exercise after that leading later. It's a very long day. But the point is, we went to a company, Booz Allen Hamilton, B-O-O-Z, not alcohol. Anyone ever heard of Booz Allen Hamilton?
Yeah.
Very, very big wig defense contractor. It's kind of like your boss's boss's boss. Okay. Well, they're interested in hiring some of our students. So there's a very good chance some of you might get hired there. So we had a meeting last week, our very first meeting. And the one thing that there's two things they really want. First of all, they require Security Plus. Security Plus. They require Security Plus training. So everybody know about IT Pro TV.
Yes.
Everybody's found it. Those that have used it, by the way, I can track and see exactly what you use and how long you're in it. Those that have been using it are like, wow, this is like crazy amazing. If you haven't looked into it, every one of my classes has a link in it. I shared it with all the other professors. Do they all share a link in their classes? At least Jimmy and Terry and Arlene and all them? No? They didn't ask them about it, or else I'll put it in the club page. Okay. Totally free training software. It's with a lot of videos and actual labs. So, you know, virtual machines, you get to configure and do all kinds of stuff in. So highly recommend you using that. But they require Security Plus training or certificate. So if you're thinking about going, you know, that's kind of like the industry standard. If you want to get hired at Tinker, that's what you need now. Okay. So if you don't have one, you need to look into getting one. Okay. Another thing they highly recommend is CEH training, Certified Ethical Hacker. Okay. Kind of think of it as, you know, I'm going to teach you how to break a password, but why am I doing that? So you can go break into something? No, it's how to do it, but do it ethically. And so I'm going to go to get that training. So hopefully I can bring back some more materials and offer it for you guys. Okay. So that's what we're hoping to do. Okay. And actually the new software, which we literally just got installed at 4 o'clock today, is from one of the training classes I went to. So it's a really good piece of software. All right. What are you doing over there? All right. There's also, yes.
Jesse has a question.
Yes, Jesse.
Yes. How important would a cyber sys analyst cert be?
Okay. Let me give you my opinion on certificates. Not everybody has the same opinion, but I believe in getting as many certs as possible because they can't hurt. Yeah, but the cyber assist analyst would be a very good cert. Anything with the word cyber right now is important. So if you haven't seen the news, that's where everything's going. Okay. The executive council on campus met today, and according to Dean Tippin, all they talked about was cyber for about at least the first half of the meeting because of all the grants we got and all the other stuff that's happening. So CyberCert. Okay, so yeah, cyber assist analyst would be good. But another cert, how about the CISSP? Y'all know what that is?
Never heard of it.
Okay, that's like the holy grail of certificates. We've been looking to offer a class in it. Would anyone be interested in maybe taking a seminar class in it, like a week long, all day long, like for a week or something, kind of like a boot camp class?
What is CISSP?
CISSP is Certified Information System Security Professional. It is the #1 certificate right now in this field. I mean, you get Security Plus and A Plus. CISSP is literally at the very top, and it's an 80% failure rate, and it costs $600.
Can it be during summer?
It would have to be during summer. So yeah, I passed the test the first time, but it's not easy to do. Yeah, another professor that's no longer here went to the test with me, and that person did not pass. But so we're looking to offer that, and the reason I mention these two is we had a meeting about 3 o'clock today. We at one point had applied to become a bachelor's degree granting institution. I think we're going to try to do it again. If it goes through, there's a big if, we might be able to offer a bachelor's degree here. And if that happens, then obviously these would be a lot more classes in this field. Okay. Booz Allen Hamilton also talked about a class that's not so much fun, risk analyst. Okay. That is their biggest deal. What they do is they write policy mainly. My opinion, that's not the fun stuff. But that's where money is. Lots of money is. So we will most likely, there's a high degree of possibility that we will create at least one more class in risk. Because it is covered. It's covered in ISM a little bit. It's covered in a couple different places, but there's so much more we could cover in that area. So what they are doing is they are looking at, they have a lot, I mean, if you look on Booz Allen Hamilton, their website, I think it's bah.com, look under job openings. They probably have close to 100 job openings right now in cybersecurity. Okay. Read some of the job descriptions. A lot of them talks about risk. Risk analyst, risk this, risk the next thing. Okay. The guy gave us an example of what they do. Okay. They were approached, first of all, they work on like Air Force One, Air Force Two, space program. They work on the really big programs. They were approached recently. Right, stop, Clausen. Okay. They were approached to write a policy that could be put into place for depots. What a depot is, like a tinker. They bring an airplane in to fix it, change the engine, maybe repair. So they needed a policy to put in place for all the equipment on the depot. Okay. For instance, so we have this hangar where the planes are going to go in. So every single piece of equipment in there, they had to write a policy to manage that. Everything from the robotic paint gun to the ice maker. Think about it. Everything's changing so much. Is the ice maker a cyber risk?
Yes.
It could be. First of all, maybe the ice is going to get corrupt or something and poison someone. Maybe the ice maker is plugged into the internet. They have, they have egg trays where you can check your eggs on the internet. It even tells you which egg's the oldest. So they have everything nowadays. So they wrote that policy, and then the government hired them to provide someone to manage that policy, and then 3 more people to work it below them, so they're making tons of money. So, yeah, so they do a lot of stuff, and we're hoping to get into an agreement with them in the near future. Okay, another thing that came up. You know how we have a scholarship for service? Everybody know what that is?
No.
Scholarship for service is the grant that the 3, Colton, Casey, and David are on. They're getting paid a salary of $22,000 tax-free to go to Rose State. When they leave Rose State in May, they're going to go to the University of Tulsa for 2 years, then go work for the government. Okay. Scholarship for service. Hence, they're in the scholarship now. They're going to do some internships, and they're going to go work for the government. Okay. Well, there's another school. Once we mentioned this whole risk analyst, George Washington University has the same program. They cannot find anybody to apply. Okay. Because I was on a call this last week with a lady from I can't think of the little place she was from, but she was doing research into the scholarship for service. And did she ever call you too? Colton and David? Barbara? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she call you too? Okay, no. I told her don't bother me. No, just kidding. No, I gave out y'all's numbers and I forgot to tell you. But no, the point is she heard about our program, because I told her all about it, and we're the only ones doing it like we're doing it. Other places, her big question was, so how, we'll use Colton for an example since he's sitting here. So Colton's going to finish Rose State. Then he has to go 2 years for a bachelor's program. She's like, so where's he going to go? I said, he's going to go to the University of Tulsa. Well, what happens if he doesn't get accepted? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, the point is, other people are having problems finding a university to take them. And I said, well, we're working with Dr. Shinoy. He just takes them. It's a blanket. You're accepted. But a lot of other people, I guess, are having issues with that. And George Washington has openings and their scholarship for service. So in June 28th through 30th, I'm going to Maryland to another conference. I got to think of conferences. And then there's actually this is going to be the 27th through the 30th. And we're going to be talking to the people at George Washington University and a couple other places while we're there and possibly get something like that. Wouldn't that be awesome? We have some students going to Tulsa, some going to George Washington, some people going to work for Booz Allen Hamilton.
You got to stay here for like 20 more years.
Yeah. Trust me, that was part of the meeting today. They don't want Ken to leave. All right. So you understand there's a lot of opportunity going on right now. Now, those of you, some of you, Kevin, you're going on Tulsa's trip Friday?
Yeah.
Kevin, you going Friday?
Good one.
I didn't include you. Okay. This is for the people that I've already told are on the grant, not the NSF grant. This is just the scholarship for service for next year. There's like 6 of you. Kevin and Kathleen's going, and so yeah, we're leaving Friday at 8:30. So all right, so that's. Any more questions about that? Everybody understand that?
Did you invite them? Or did you...
Yeah, they were specifically invited because Sandy's daughter, Kathleen, has a straight 4.0. She's got AP everything. She's graduating this year. So we're recommending to go to University of Tulsa starting next spring, but she does have a 4.0 and everything else. So yeah, what I did was at the last meeting, I asked those who might be interested. I did say that, didn't I? So I had quite a few people contact me, and I went through GPAs and all their transcripts and got everybody's schedule set so that there's a good chance they will be accepted. So we're going up there this Friday to visit Dr. Shinoy and pretty much get accepted. So, okay, Jesse asked a question about the OSUIT wasn't necessarily the best route. Let me expand on that a little, okay? How can I say this? When you graduate, you realize you get a piece of paper, okay? OSUIT is that piece of paper. It's a degree. Is it the absolute best? Is it as good a degree as you get for University of Tulsa? No. Is it better than some? Yes. Are there others better than it? Yes. Okay. A lot of degrees are what you put into it, okay? OSUIT is a degree. It's a totally accredited degree, but they're not, if you only do what's required to graduate there, you're not going to learn a lot, okay? So, what are you writing? So,
He's writing key points from the meeting.
okay, so the point is, if you go there, expect to learn some, expect to do a lot of busy work. Let's speak on busy work here for a second. I took calculus, obviously, quite a few years ago. I had to write a research paper in calculus. Talk about busy work. Okay. The reason was we had a lot of people graduating and going on for the master's, and I guess they didn't know how to write. So basically, my bachelor's degree, school, they said, they had some of the people who went on for the master's, so they said everybody must write a paper. So the point is, OSUIT, yeah, it does that. I'm teaching a class for them right now. It is a lot of busy work, but they are pushing you in the right direction to learn more. Okay, that's all I can tell you. Other options, local, there are none. If you want to stay local, there's nothing. Okay, if you want to go to UCO, you can get a secondary bachelor's in digital forensics. You got to get your first bachelor's in MIS. And I heard from someone the other day, that their digital forensics course at UCO is literally how to use FTK, and that's it. They actually provide you with the FTK user's manual. Like, wow, that's bad. Okay, so
Considering what we do in our
Right.
digital forensics class.
so yes, OSU IT can be done completely online, but some classes require you to go there like twice. Like it's project management, I know. Cameron, do you have to go there at all?
You have to go there for project management and R&D.
Okay, so project management, you do the class online, but at the end of the semester, you go take a test and give a presentation. Is that right?
I think so.
So it's pretty much online. And if I remember right, last time it was taught, they allowed some people to even do that portion online via video conferencing. So yes, it can be done online. But if you only go there and you only do what they tell you, you're not going to learn a lot. I keep saying this in so many meetings. When I went to Tulsa, we used John the Ripper. And literally, you would type John the Ripper, the image name, and the password hash, and it would literally break all the passwords in 5 seconds. Because that's all it did. I had to play with it and figure out a lot more and to really utilize the program. But if I had only done what was required, I wouldn't have learned anything. So it's not just there, it's everywhere. Okay, you understand what I mean by that? When you go to school, you should be using it as this is what you should learn and expand upon it from there, okay? Yeah, exactly what Jesse said here. So basically, do the classwork, but put in time other than the course, most definitely. Here at Rose State, go to the Security Plus class, network security, and get the certification. Are you required to? No. But if you get it, you're better off. Now, speaking of that, what would anyone be interested in? Maybe you're in the network security course, and we provide free vouchers to take the test for the first 10 people who was ready to take the test. Would that be an incentive to get the certification?
Yes.
And maybe the requirements would be you must use IT Pro TV and pass the practice exam with a 95. Would that be reasonable?
Yes.
Because we actually got approval to do that. We don't have it in place yet, but we got approval to, at least it sounds like a plan. So that way you guys could take the course and walk away with an actual certification. That's very valuable. Okay, so we're looking into that. So again, if you do it, we can't buy them for everybody because I'm going to be upfront with you. Middle Votech had the same program. They have it where 6 people can get a free certification. They can't get people to take the test. The problem is, I mean, even here, Rose State students go over there and buy vouchers. They never use them. Again, we use Colton as an example. I don't think this was Colton, but Colton would go buy it. Oh, I'm going to take the Security Plus tomorrow. I mean, next week. I mean, next month. I mean, 6 months from now. You know what? I just don't have time. And he blows it away.
So you see, I skipped the buying the ticket portion and just didn't take the test.
My point is, if we buy 10 vouchers, they're only good for 1 year. So if we give Adam a voucher, is Adam going to use it and take the test? Okay. So see, everybody says it's a great idea, but would everybody use it? We would hate to do this and then, well, we just wasted X number of dollars. Because isn't it like 180 bucks? Anyone know what it costs?
It's like I thought it was 220.
300.
No, we get it cheaper at the vote. We want my half price. Not quite half price. But Cameron, you took the Security Plus recently. Isn't it 180 bucks? Something like that.
Man, I took the Security Plus in 2014. I have to renew it.
That was recently.
So you can recently? I want to say
2014 is like yesterday
I
almost.
just paid like 100.
Okay, so around 100.
200 or 300 for it.
You are recording.
Yes, I'm
Like
recording. I'm recording. Yes, I am. I'm recording. It's right here. It's recording.
You want us to make sure last time?
Yes, I know. All right, so just think about it. We're trying to put this in place. And yeah, so, and what will happen is if you pass the certification, there's no final exam for that course. And we'd like to expand it for more classes like network admin, the computer hardware course, the networks course. Because what we're trying to do, we're trying to take Adam over here. Not only is he walking away with a degree, but he's walking away with an industry certification. Now he's more valuable. Where normally Adam wouldn't have done it. So we're trying to encourage you to better yourselves. Okay. All right. So CEH, we're probably going to start implementing more of that stuff in our classes. CISSP, we'd like to offer boot camp in there. So think about that. Now, any specific questions on anything before I cover something else? Which boot camp? Probably CISSP. Let me explain a little bit about boot camps for a second. When I first got hired here at Rose State, I was still active duty military. I did 7:30 to 4:30 Air Force, and then I did 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock Rose State every night and weekends because I had to get my hours in because I had 6 months in the military left. I started offering boot camps where it was more of we would come in Friday night and I think all day Saturday and all day Sunday to prepare you for certification tests. And we had very high pass rates for lots of it because I just got all those certs. So CISSP would be longer than that because it's huge, but we'd like to start getting you guys prepared for it. Who was the guy who just took his recently? Cameron, he was hanging out in your office a lot. What's his name? Did he pass? No, it wasn't did he pass. Did they accept it or something? But you can't even take the CISSP exam without Aaron. Did Aaron?
Yes, he passed.
He's done, yeah.
He passed and everything. Okay.
Yes, CISSP.
Okay, good. Aaron, one of our students, just took his just right around Christmas time. But you have to be recommended to even take the test. So, and you'd have to be recommended by a certified person, so I recommended him. So we can do this, but it's a lot of work and costs of money and time. And
You have another question?
the exam costs $600.
Yeah.
But the software is in that IT Pro TV for free. Okay, question. Can't CISSP be taken
There's the one
only
before
after
that.
5 years experience? No. But you can take it earlier and become an associate. You can become a CISSA, which is instead of a professional, you're an associate, which means you pass the test, you just don't have the experience. Then once you get the experience, you can become a professional.
And then the other one, if they get the related classes cert, will they waive the final or part of the class for them or something like that?
So, hold on.
It's above the can't CISP.
If we can't get the related class cert, you'll waive the final. Yes, correct. If you take the Security Plus exam, we would waive the final. Because I talked to Jimmy about it. The point is, if you can pass the industry certification, you're fine. Do you agree with that? I think I've done that all along in my classes. If it's a class that has a cert that would work with it. We've just never offered the vouchers because we've never had them. Okay. All right. 4 years if you already have your Security Plus. So 4 years experience, like who's ASDF? Which one's that? It's one of you in here. The guy with the weird camera. Roy?
Not me this time.
Okay. But yeah, if you have, and also if you have education, that can count towards some of your experience. Okay, normally you need 5 years before you can be certified CISSP. But if you have education in the field, that can count towards some of your experience. So maybe you get your Security Plus, you're down to 4 years instead of 5 years. Education can also count as a certain percentage. You'd have to look on the website. Go to iscsquared.org, isc2.org, and it'll tell you all about the requirements. But if nothing else, you can become an associate, and then once you get the experience. See, a lot of companies will hire you with an associate, CISSA, because now they know you passed the test, and they know once you have some hands-on experience, you automatically become a CISSP. So it's a pretty good deal, okay? All right. Any other questions? Yes, no, maybe?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How come Rose State College does not offer like internships?
Okay, Adam asked the question, why does Rose State College not offer internships? We do. Now let me explain though. For a while there, we actually had a lot of internships through Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is Boeing couldn't afford to pay them. So then their HR department realized that we actually can't have someone working here for free. So they went away. Okay, if you were to find an internship, you could actually enroll in an internship class and get credit for it. It's just that we don't actively pay for them because we just don't. Now, I tell you, if we become a 4-year degree, yes, there'll be an internship involved. Okay. But see, we're limited at the associate's level. We have to require at least 60 hours. Okay. You know, our nursing program is an associate's degree and it's 93 hours. That's a lot of extra hours. So we could require more stuff and maybe an internship, but then instead of 63 or 66 or 69 or 72 or, where do you stop?
Never.
Right. And so, we don't. Actually, a student came in today asking about internships. Now, I do have a contact for a company that's looking for an intern. If you're interested, email me and I'll reply back. Because I get people asking for, job offers all the time.
Yeah.
Just email me and I'll reply back with all the ones that I've been receiving lately. Because I have a folder called jobs. I put them all in there. So that if you ever say, hey, you know of any new jobs, I'll just forward them all to you. Then it's up to you to go through them and see which ones you're interested in. So, yeah, so we do have classes in it. We don't actively pursue it. Okay. Normally, but if you have one, you can come to us. Okay. Any other questions? All right. You're in forensics. Who else is in forensics this semester? 2 of you? 3 of you? 4 of you? Okay. You guys totally understand the project this week? Email header?
Email header, yes.
Okay, I'm having some. I'm not pleased with some of the grades I've been seeing. So I want to show you a few things. Will that be acceptable?
Yeah.
Walk through this stuff a little bit more because.
Will you reopen tests if we submit them within the last hour?
Oh.
Just reopen the test and do it?
I already did. I deleted them all and started it again. But
No, like if someone submitted them within the last hour, I didn't realize.
didn't you come to the last last spring's meetings? Didn't I do a lot of the projects? And who came to last spring's meetings? Anybody? I did walk through a lot of stuff, didn't I?
You went through just about every project in pen testing, forensics, and
Now you know. There you go.
There's no space between all the projects.
So you guys are looking out.
Submitted my test.
So you're looking out because of your projects aren't due till Tuesday. So if we meet on Monday,
No, digital forensics is due tomorrow.
Yeah, it's more.
right, that's what I'm saying. They're not due till Tuesday, but this meeting's on Monday. So it'll be a good time. Hey, I'm stuck on this thing. I want to find something here real quick.
Saying if my confidence is misplaced, would you reopen?
Maybe. I don't know. See, speaking of jobs, see, look here. You see this screen right here? You see that?
No.
Hold on, let me
You
turn the
can't.
projector on.
Is that the
Jeez.
point? Okay, never mind. No, never mind.
Let me look.
Is that the point where you being metaphysical? Is it like the job of?
Okay, hold on. We're turning this projector on.
We should have done that a long time ago.
Well, I mean, I didn't have anything on the screen. I literally had nothing. Okay, see right here? We got a projector that's not connected right.
Ah.
Roy? Oh, it's on. Okay, good. All right. See, here's one I got January about a software engineer intern. Okay, someone wants to move to Alabama. There's a job in Alabama. Whoever this company is, this one's with, I hate this right here. At the Dell building, if anyone wants a job at Dell. Addison Group, cyber specialist position, Department of Homeland Security analysis. So I have a lot of these that I always get, and I can forward them to you if you're interested in them.
So we just need to basically send you an email?
Yeah, email me. Say, hey, can you forward me any rates and jobs? Like, here's an opening at Tinker. Okay. Now, I want to open, let's open this one. Now, I don't know how this is going to work on this version of Outlook. I need to see the headers. Anyone know how to get to the header? There it is. Okay, I'm going to just open this up here. So you can prove I did not plan this because I didn't even have an email ready yet. Okay, view, format font. And we need to go to 20. Ooh, is that big enough?
Yes.
It's amazing. Was there a medical outbreak in here? I'm just wondering why all the front computers are empty, or seats are empty.
Well, you see Colton's up here.
Oh,
No one likes me. They like to stay away.
all right.
I thought that was you.
Yes, Cameron.
Can you do the remote people thing and share your screen?
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen?
No,
Yes, I am.
it stopped halfway through.
I'm sharing my screen.
No.
You're sharing your camera
Am I sharing my screen now?
screen.
Can you see my screen?
There we go.
I can see it. I can see it being shared.
Oh, it was overwritten by your camera.
Do y'all see it now? Yes?
Yes. I can see
Okay.
Not if we start.
So here's an
highlighting stuff.
email. Where did this email come from?
Came from
Addison.com.
All right, so Cameron Taylor at addisongroup.com. Now, I've seen some confusion by some students. For instance, what if this said it came from Apple? Has anyone got that email? Okay, so if you got one that said it came from Apple, so this first section here, so if it came from Addison Group, you would hope that this has something to do with their infrastructure, although it might not be. Okay? Let me explain about that. So if the mail was sent from Addison Group, you would hope that it came from some sort of a domain related to them.
That's Skybroad.
Okay, now let's find out where Sky Broadband is.
It's located in Amsterdam.
Okay, so if I got an email from Apple, okay, and the first IP address is Amsterdam.
It's 195.
So what do you tell? What's that telling you right there?
It's not a
It's
legitimate
outside.
business.
It's not from Apple.
Yeah.
It came from Sky Broadband. It's a spam email. Now, this one here did come from Addison Group. So if I ask you who this came from, you say addisongroup.com. But if this said apple.com and the first link came from Sky Broadband, that didn't come from Apple. It came from Sky Broadband. So what domain are you going to give me the information on? Sky Broadband. You see the difference? With an email, it's just like a letter. The reply address, you can put anything there. Okay? So if looking at what you see, the from address is Cameron Taylor at Addison Group, and where you received it from, it's like, you know what? That's from Amsterdam or Asia Pacific or the Right Network or Russia. The odds are it's not from Apple or from, you see what I'm saying? So that could be an issue for some people. Okay?
Yeah, it's confusing.
What's this guy's IP address? What's the easiest way to find out?
I think it's 78. Oh, no, that's NS.
I can use that as lookup, but I can see. So received from mail2.addison.com. Okay. Well, I need to turn on my wrap here because this is not wrapping very well. Okay, wow, there's a bunch of junk in the middle. Okay, so received from mail2.addison by mail2.addison. So came from this address here and went to this address here, which is the same machine. You see, you agree with that? How is that even possible?
Mail server?
Probably a mail server. It's probably some sort of newsletter generating machine running on a specific machine. We have a file server in the other room that has like 20 or 30 IP addresses assigned to one machine. So one machine could do multiple tasks. Okay? So it could come from itself. Now, what's this 192 address?
It's external.
Is it internal or external?
That's external.
Internal.
But you said, oh,
I've got my
I said-
197, 170, 172, 10, and 191. That's
I said 192, 10, 172
170.
are all internal. Yes.
Isn't it all the private IP addresses are all internal?
Right, private or internal. And 192, 168 private. It is. 192, 168 is private. Now, let me expand upon that a little bit. I'm going to really confuse you now. I did not say this the other night because it's confusing.
It seems like
Okay. My network in my house was 66.2.163.130. That was my network inside my home when I ran my business. Okay. My external address was my internal IP. Hold on, let me get my phone bigger.
You think like they're
Format
Also, it's a little cut off because of the buttons on the side. Oh, there you go.
Okay, this was my internal network. This was my external network. Is that not exactly wrong from what I just told you?
Exact opposite.
It's the exact opposite. Let me explain why. Okay, this was my internal. I ran an ISP. My clients had to have public IP addresses. So I had all this group of IP addresses. You okay with that? My connection was to Cox. So my external side was still internal to Cox. You see that? So just because it was my external address, that external address was actually internal to Cox. So it gets very confusing.
Oh, also.
What? Oh. Well, let me see. I can't see it when I got my screen up like this. I need zoom up. Hold on. Well, heck.
So do you need to use the IP address that is listed in the email or use the NS lookup via the host name?
Is it mail and mail too? Why can't I see that?
Go to your Zoom.
I'm trying to find my
You
Zoom.
look to your right. Oh, wait.
I got too many screens open here. Roy, if you just keep screwing with my
Go to
machine.
your Zoom.
If I was screwing with your machine. it
Roy,
would be
stop
awful.
screwing with my machine. So I'm gonna have to stop what I'm doing to turn off annotations. Where is my Zoom?
Up at the top.
Yeah, but I can't. Oh, it's because I got the screen shared. Can I get into chat? There it is. Okay.
Down
I get down.
at the very bottom.
Do we need to use the IP address that's listed on email or NS lookup? Okay, they should be the same. But I'm going to show you an example why they're not always the same. Okay, there's an email someone received that one group of students has that I don't have in front of me, but let me minimize this. Probably that one. If you look very closely, you will see in the email in particular, it'll say received from somebody by mail to dot something something dot ru.
Yes, CC, CC, and.
Okay, so this here said mail to dot ccl dot ru.
Yes. And
Okay.
that's the-
Now you notice how this address right here matches this address?
Yep.
Your email, they don't match. This one's mail to, this one's just mail. So if I do an NS lookup, oh, and I need this one. If I do NS lookup, mail to.ccl.ru, I'm going to get that. If I do mail to that, I get two different addresses.
You're right.
Yes.
I think second one is the.
Okay,
one that I
what you
found.
need to do with, if I asked you guys for the second address, you need to look and make sure that, at least in that example, you know, it came from this address to mail to, so this would be the first external, this would be the second external, if you're in your case. Just make sure the names, because the point is, just because it came from this address to this address doesn't necessarily mean it's going to match up here. Normally it does, but a lot of times it don't when people are sending out spam and stuff like that. And the email could also be an SMTP server, it could also be a spam filtering server, so it could have multiple addresses assigned. But I can guarantee if you look at your email, one of the addresses is mail to, one of them's mail. They don't match. So figure out which one's second. Now, that being said, I know some of you are new to this class. There's usually something tricky in every single exercise. There is. It makes you think. And yes, it's going to make you second, third, and fourth, and fifth guess yourself. But just because on every single, see how these match up perfectly right here? Not all of them match up perfectly. Okay. Now let's look at something else. So this email came from mail to, and let's continue on. And it went to, well, let me keep going. Geez, it's up here somewhere. All right, so, hell, let's-
Another question about this.
okay, 1 second. So it came from Addison Group. It was received by mx2.rose.edu, okay? See this? It came from addisonsearch.com. It was received by mx2.rose.edu. So then I go up here, and it came from mx2.rose.edu, which is this address, external or internal.
Internal.
So is that the answer? I asked you for the external. So I'm going to get down here, and I'm going to say, nslookup mx2.rose.edu.
Mhm.
Doesn't exist. But it does exist. You agree it's up there?
Yes.
It's at the top, but it's not in this black part. But ask Google for it.
Oh, well, whoops.
What I did here was, let me copy this. I'll just type the command over here so you can see it. What I typed was nslookup mx2.rose.edu. Now, I queried that from inside the Rose network, okay? That statement says name server lookup for mx2.rose.edu. And I'm going to default to using my own DNS server. Since I'm internal to the Rose network, I'm going to query the internal server. And you can see that right here, arial1.rose.cc.ok.us. See it right here?
Does this work on devices like laptops connected
Work
to
than anything.
public network?
Yes. Now, if you're outside of Rose network, it's going to work perfectly no matter what. If you do this from your house or from IHOP or anyone else, you're going to get this address, this 164 address down here at the bottom. But if you do it from anywhere inside the Rose network, you're going to get this 10 address. Okay? So how do you override it? Well, you tell it nslookup, but then you specify an external server to use, and that's Google. And that's why when I ran it the second time, specifying Google, it gave me an address. Google also has another address, 8.8.4.4. Okay. Let me tell you why this is important. When I ran my ISP, I would do what's called a zone transfer. Say I was taking over Rose.edu's network. I would transfer Rose's domain to me. Then obviously I would see it because I installed it on my machine, but how do I know, what do you guys see? What's the outside world see? So I would just query an external server to see what they saw. Because DNS is really a tricky thing. Now, you're only getting a hair bit of it, but, and when I'm doing these projects, just ask questions. Hey, I had somebody literally that night after class ask me questions. I had some guy in my office, 8 o'clock the next morning. Or Tuesday night, I was here till 7 p.m. And I got back from the gym Wednesday morning, there was a guy literally sitting there in my office. Roy, are you recording this? He's always causing trouble. So do you understand the difference? This stands for name server lookup, mx2.rose.edu. And by specifying the 8.8.8.8,
And external.
I'm telling it to use Google server. I can tell it to use whoever server. I just happen to remember it because it's easy to remember.
Look at the chat.
Okay, hold on.
So this is to find the last external, to find that?
You can actually do it for any one of them. Hold on, I gotta get the chat again.
Well, cuss.
Okay, so do you use the IP listen header or the public IP with the fully qualified name? Because mx2.addison resolves to this address. What does it show in here? Let's look up our mx2 or mail2.addison group. Where's mail2? Mail2.addison group is, see, that's internal again. We would have to do, so if I was to query it, let me query mail2.addison.com and let's look up. Do I need to specify Google or can I use my internal one? So am I okay like that, or do I have to put 8.8.8.8 after it?
You're gonna use the Google.
But do I have to use Google on this one?
No.
I only need Google when I'm querying something about myself.
Yeah.
See, I'm already external to them. So See, I'm outside of them anyway. I couldn't get that 192 address. See this 192 address they're giving me? I couldn't get that. It's impossible for me to get because I'm outside. So yeah, to answer the question, you would use the 66.28.99.204. Reverse DNS, you can. Let me show you what he's talking about there. Now if I do NS lookup on the address 66.28.99.204, I think I showed an example of this. Oh, that one's good. Okay, let me show you another example. I'm gonna do NS lookup www.google.com.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and wonder why Google's got a lot of addresses? Don't tell me because they're big. Why do they have a lot of addresses? Anybody?
Because they format a lot.
You're afraid to be hacked?
It's called round robin. Ooh, someone's on there. Very good. Who's answering these? There's got to be somebody in this room.
It's not.
It's not. They're like their video camera. They literally just like laid a sheet or something over their camera.
So it's David.
No.
Okay, let me explain what round robin is. Y'all agree that Google's pretty big right now.
Since I've looked.
Can you imagine if everybody that typed in www.google.com hit the same server? What would happen to it? Be dead. Hey, it would kill you. So what happens is every time, now watch these numbers. Just watch the top one. See how it's changing? Every time someone hits it, the numbers rotate. So that's how many servers is serving the same content for Google.
So get 30 computers to do that and do it on a loop at 100 times a
The
second.
good thing is Google can take one offline. But no, not. It really doesn't. They can always add more. All you do is inside of DNS, you add what's called an A record. You'd add more of them, which is also a host record. You just add more. Add another server, another server. Now, if I was to do NS lookup on this address, which is the reverse he was talking about, whoops, 58.87.26. Once it's 58, did I type it right? Probably won't let me do it in reverse. Yeah, okay, not everybody has a reverse entry. Let me try another one. There's MSN. Seriously? Oh, there it is. You see how MSN has that IP address, but they also have some aliases? That means it's known by more than one address. And now if I do NS lookup 204.79.197.203. There you go. So I did NS lookup for www.msn.com and it gave me this IP address. Then I typed in that IP address NS lookup and it gave me that name. Just happens to match, but they don't always match. Because this name MS or www.msn.com is also known by www-msn-com.a- blah, blah. Okay. Machines can be known by 20 different things. Okay. Now, in theory, if I did NS lookup msn.com, I should get the same address. But I don't. That's crazy. Because what's happening is people are getting lazy. So when you go to Google, you type in www.google.com. How many you put www on there now?
Nope.
We're lazy.
Just Google that.
By the way, this is Bill Richards in the back of the room. He's the guy that's going to do the balloon project.
I guess.
I told them all you're going to meet next week to explain it all and get your teams. And
I got a few minutes before the class, so I thought I was putting my head in.
okay, yeah, and there was like 4 or 5 of them that say we're interested already. So, which is good. So who was interested again? Cole.
Can you explain it? What day?
The other two should
Hey,
be.
Bill, why don't you come up here a second and explain that real quick? I'll give you the chair.
Should be interested.
What?
The other two should be interested.
Yes, the other two should be
Projects.
interested.
I'm gonna explain what.
Just explain real quick about what the balloon project's going to do. You got 2
Well,
seconds?
it's basically
Let's see
the
here a second,
principle
see
of
you
what
on
goes
camera.
up comes down.
Here, sit here because they got people streaming online.
Oh, okay. Well, simply, we're going to get a weather balloon.
Which we
And-
received today, by the way,
Did we?
and another Raspberry Pi.
Do you remember what size we got? Was it 1,500 gram?
It's in a square box about this big.
Okay. Reason I've done a little more research, having never done this before, and my goal was to get a balloon above 60,000. Well, with the size of the one I bought, we may be able to go over 100,000.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Okay, now, are we actually gonna have to like track this balloon to Arkansas or something?
well, believe it or not, there's some calculations websites that you can punch in the information for the day you want to launch, the time you want to launch. I mean, you can't go too far out in the future because it's using forecasts for winds at various altitudes.
Are they Oklahoma forecasters?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're never gonna find it.
Yeah. But what happens is amazing enough, when you run the track, it'll plot an estimated course, and you'll see the balloon as it goes up about 15, 20,000 feet, it'll be heading east. Then all of a sudden it'll do 180 degrees and start heading west. And then it'll get up about 40, 50,000 and start heading east again.
Mhm.
So I'm expecting it to be within 200 miles of where we launch it.
So are we going to, okay, a whole bunch of people are gonna head 200 miles away and then we're gonna launch it to hopefully?
No, I don't think it'll be necessary because we got to kind of plan that out. Having never done it before, I'm going to, contact
I
some
can
other
see it
people that have done it.
landing right in the middle of I-35 West in Dallas.
Yeah. Or in the tallest tree in the area. That's the other problem.
Shot down over Tinker.
Yeah. The,
But don't we have to get FAA approval? or something?
yeah. Mhm. It's not very hard to get. There's a FAA regulation. We have to meet all the requirements on it. We have to give them the information when we're going to launch and all this stuff, and try not to launch right next to an airfield, particularly a military base.
We might need to move.
Though surprisingly, some people have launched from certain civilian airports that are not very busy. They just get permission of the base operator or airport manager, and they've been able to launch from there. Because you're looking for a good, clear, flat spot, and hopefully you'll pick a day that's not too windy so that you don't have any control problems before you release the balloon. The balloon will have a payload on it, and the payload's going to have several devices. One of them is going to be the, I got to remember now.
Raspberry Pi?
Huh?
Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, one's a
Well,
Raspberry
Raspberry Pi, there's going to be a Raspberry Pi, but that's not a requirement. I got other plans for that. But there's going to be a onboard computer that comes with this balloon kit, and it's got one sensor on it that does temperature, and it's got I think I had built-in GPS and some data output terminals, and you can pipe that into the Raspberry Pi so he can log it all, or you can have that computer log it. And then there's a I can't remember the name of it right now, the abbreviation, but it's the amateur radio packet system or something like that. And we're going to get one of those. It's a little device to transmit on a fairly open frequency in the United States. And there are receivers all over the country, heck, all over the town and state that receive these things. And basically, once you get above a certain altitude, then you'll be able to track the balloon live on Google Maps at a certain website that receives all this information. We're also going to have a, what was it called? Spot Me Now or something
like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's another GPS thing that's got a service. So like if someone stole your car, it would report where your car is and stuff like that. Well, you put this on the balloon and it's been tested at altitude, but it's not going to be important to us until you get down around below 5,000 or 6,000 feet, where we're not getting as good a radio signal on the ham radio frequencies. And the GPS will report it up every 2.5 minutes, I think it is. And then we'll be able to go to their website and find out what the coordinates are. And so hopefully even after it hits the ground, it'll keep transmitting, and we'll be able to track it right from there. So we're gonna have several methods. And then the big thing I want on the team is, I've come up with a rough list of the different coordinators we're gonna need. We're gonna need somebody that's gonna be good with PR and media. There may be some additional components we may need, and we may need to solicit some advertisers.
So what do you think about maybe getting the STEM club involved?
Absolutely, this is
Okay,
perfect
good.
stuff for STEM.
Maybe we can even invite someone from marketing, because obviously when we do this, I'm assuming marketing would want to be there.
Yeah, I think so, because this is, you could use it as a pretty good PR stunt for, or not stunt, but a project.
I just think it'd be cool.
We can do a group meeting with STEAM Club and some of their officers
Yeah.
sometime.
I mean, it just sounds cool. I don't know about you guys. It sounds cool
Our
to me.
president.
Yeah, and if we need to solicit funds, we can go to places like Hedeberg, since they already
There you
bought the
go.
naming rights to.
Write
the
your name on the
communications
side of
center.
this balloon.
Yeah, and what we could do is just put a little sticker in front of one of the cameras, and so as it's looking out, you can And that's another thing. I'm going to try to have several different types of cameras. An imaging camera. Hey, how you doing?
Where my friend?
Several imaging cameras and hopefully a video camera. And it depends on, you know, what we can scrounge up. I didn't purchase any cameras or anything like that. So we'll probably need to buy one for the Raspberry Pi. But that's
Well, I
only
have about
$30.
$24,000 left over.
Oh, we should be able to get 1 or 2 cameras out of that.
They're awfully expensive.
But I mean, there's a lot of different things. And what I'm also going to challenge the team to do is to come up with different experiments. Now, the Raspberry Pi I've got has a what they call a hardware attached on top. It's a motherboard, a little board that fits over top of the Raspberry Pi. How many of you are familiar with Raspberry Pis? Mostly everybody. Those you aren't, it's a very small computer.
Smaller than your cell phone.
Yeah, smaller than your cell phone, but it's got, I run it at home as a full-blown Linux server with a web page and everything on it. But the thing you can do is come up with some additional experiments. But this hat we have on it, currently there are 2 Raspberry Pis on the International Space Station. And each of them have one of these sense hats, it's called. And it detects humidity, temperature, acceleration, barometer, a couple of other things. And you can use, Python to write programs to have it collect data. If we want to get more sensors, we can attach them to the system. And basically, you know, we need to come up with some good experiments.
I think we definitely get the STEM club involved.
Yeah.
Cameron, can you remind me to let Dr. Jones know? Maybe get with his people. I think it'll be just something fun.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, this is the high altitude balloon projects have been listed as a very excellent project for STEM.
All right, well, next week he's going to talk more about it in great detail. Well, more detail.
And we need to
And
meet
if you're
the
interested,
STEM
please. I mean, it's not for a grade or anything, but see, the cool thing is, here's an example.
Definitely a good thing on a resume.
Right, Frank Woodall, a prior student here, went to work for the NSA. While he was here, he helped develop a website for us that included a database server. And he listed on his resume, you know, I built this, you know, made this website, connected to the database, did all this stuff. They were so impressed. Not necessarily about the project, the fact that he was involved in a project, but that he was on it from start to finish and, you know, what is it? Resume, perfect. You know, I was the communications lead on the high balloon project at Rose State College where we blah, 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 blah. It's just experiencing something. So I think it's awesome.
Did you get that email from that Wigio site or whatever it's called?
Yes, I did. No, I sent it to you. I forwarded it to you. I didn't get one back again. I forwarded.
Oh, I
it.
signed you up with your email address. Should have sent you a notice.
Okay, I might have it. I'll have to look. I got
Yeah, there's a website that I found that's linked to D2L. Apparently, it's provided by
Oh, that's
D2L.
right. Yes, I did.
And it's got a collaboration. You can use it as a collaboration website.
That's right.
And that's where I'm going to plan on putting like the PowerPoint presentation I'm working on and stuff like that.
And we can also, if we wanted to, we can make another. We could also put it in the Cyber Club's D2L page, or create a brand new D2L page for the Bloom project or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, as we get close to it, and we get more familiar with what we can do, you know, we can make it readily available to people to track on their home computers or laptops while we do the launch.
We can do a new D2L page, and we can link like me or Casey, people who want to be added to the other page. You can put us on there as admin, so we can
Yeah,
add them in.
okay, we'll see about doing that.
Okay.
Come up with some names.
Just plaster it on the front of either your class or on the D2L page if
Okay,
you want to be
sounds good.
added in.
You bet.
All right,
Contact
thank
these
you.
people.
Now you know, all know who Bill is.
What goes up comes down.
All right, now, okay, so back to what we were talking about. Everybody understands the round robin. Kind of got a little bit better idea how the DNS works. Maybe, yes, somewhat, I hope.
The question is, will you read? I'll talk to you later.
Kim, some other projects that I've been told by certain secret scroll people that would be good are vulnerability detection, exploitation, and defense of vulnerabilities. Maybe we can
Yes.
come up with something.
That's one of the reasons I'm going to this next class. See, every time I go to these classes, I come back with new project ideas. That's what I need, you know?
This is what they were specifically asking. Like they want people from SFS to know how to do some of this, or at least have general knowledge background for it. So
I got a job for you. Crip some projects.
I'm going to forward that on to someone more important, like the president.
So any other questions about email? Kind of understand how email works here? Yeah, please ask. And nobody contacted me for today's meeting. If you want something special covered, please let me know, and I will definitely do this with you. But next week, I know Bill's going to be here. We'll probably cover a few other things as well. We got a crazy awesome. I kind of mentioned a little bit about the software at the beginning of the meeting tonight, but wow, wait till we use it in Lab 3. It was awesome, boy, wasn't it? It was like the entire project is literally done in 5 seconds. Like, no way. And wow. It was magic.
What's project 3?
Automated file recovery. Yeah, this software was amazing. Okay.
Works so good.
Yeah, so no other questions about email. What is all this junk in here? Does anybody know?
Not important. Garbage.
Normally, this probably, it sounds to me like this was probably an email that was sent with some sort of certificate, since we have some RSA and the signature involved. Normally, actually, for a lot of the emails you guys are working on, what I did is I went like this and I went like that.
It is the DKI.
Because they were too long. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I tried to delete most of that stuff to shorten it for you guys. And anti-spam, y'all know what that is. And I'll tell you, this is actually becoming a problem because in the past, I would get a lot of junk email that I could use in projects. I'm not getting the junk email anymore to use in projects because this darn thing's eating them. Darn you. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, you had to do a whole bunch of emails this time, didn't you?
I had to go through a ton of them. All right. No other questions? Everybody
I
happy?
guess the only other question I would have is for your stalking assignment.
Stalking assignment. Yes. Ask away.
Had any good lava cocktails recently?
Yes. I only had it once, though.
That's all I needed. But
I got a question about crypto.
Ask me a question or crypto. Go ahead.
The Kaczynski something.
Kaczynski method. Yes.
Yes. Do you count from the first letter of the repeating pattern or whatever?
You start, okay, say, let me.
Like, do you go from start of the letter to start of the pattern? No.
Okay. If I was looking for, let's go through a whole bunch of other letters in here. Okay. So if I was looking for a repeating pattern, this is Kaczynski method. Is a Prussian major who helped break the veneer cipher, which was basically unbreakable for 300 years. Okay. What we do is we look at repeating characters, 3 or more, the longer the better. So do you agree we have a pattern of A, B, C, D here?
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to put a couple of letters in front of it. Okay. So obviously, let me change my font to Courier. Does anyone know why I'm changing it to Courier? Monospace font. Makes it so it'll look the same. The width is all the same. So this is 3. That's 1, 2. So it starts with 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. So the pattern is starting at 3. The next one starts at 13.
Mm-hmm.
The next one starts at
26.
26. Does that answer your question so far?
Yeah, that's it.
Then I go 13 minus 3 equals 10. 26 minus 13 equals 13. And this example will not work because there's no front factors in those. But then what you do is you factor these out. So 10 becomes a 5 and a 2. That's about it, isn't it? And a 10 and a 1. But 13's prime, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, that just sucks.
Jim, if you want, if I can find my
Wait a
flash
minute.
drive, I can bring in my Kaczynski method into your cipher.
You guys were wrong. It was at 25. 5. You guys were wrong.
That's a lie.
Okay, so that comes out to be 4, 3, 2, 6. So with Kaczynski, you factor them out. and you look for repeating factors. So in this case, what would my repeating factor be? 2. Okay. Obviously, this is a very poor example because it's awful. But yes, so that answers the question. You go from the starting position and you subtract them out. And what we're doing is this is helping us to determine the probable key length in a veneer encrypted message, but obviously there's no key in this one since I just made it. Okay. Great question. Now, I love when you guys ask me questions about whatever classes it is, because if I just sit up here and look at Roy, that's very boring. Okay. Any other questions on anything?
Dumpster diving.
Dumpster diving. Let me explain what happened with dumpster diving. In the past, I would ask students to go tell me about dumpster diving in their city.
That's what I was waiting for.
The problem was I'd get Colton, who would tell me everything there is to know about his city.
I'd look up city ordinances.
But then I get
laws,
Roy, who would say, you know, my city doesn't have any rules. So I was getting the quality of the response was vague. So what I did this time is I looked back a couple semesters and found people did a good job, told me lots of information, and made it into a quiz.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and I looked for people who, like, is it the Greenwood case in California?
Yes.
Okay.
Greenwood's the first
A lot of people talked about, submitted the Greenwood case. So I made a quiz question on the Greenwood case. So for that one, you're having to, see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of the ambiguity in the answers. Because people are like, but you didn't tell me to answer that. Well, I told you to tell me what you could. And I would literally have some people who wait till 5 seconds before it was due. And they would, oh, there's nothing in Oklahoma or nothing in Middle City. Well, okay, but did you look statewide or did you look,
Oklahoma City, because
or Oklahoma City or maybe United States? I mean, you could have told me more than, oh, there's nothing in Middle City. Yeah, but, you know, I'm trying to get away from that. That way you guys know what I'm looking for. Okay? Make sense on all that, everybody?
Mhm.
Any other questions on anything?
Well, I had a question about one of the questions on the assignment.
Okay, what's the question?
Uh,
It's about Ohio?
No, finding what year Congress failed to pass a law
Oh,
to
so what's your question on it?
dispose of credit card information securely, stuff like that. I thought I found an answer. I'm not sure.
When we're done with this, I'll look for you. And you think you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, when we're done here, I'll talk to you two separately. But I can't bring it up right now because everybody will see it.
Seems like a great idea.
Any other questions on anything? So you like having a meeting like this where we discuss stuff? And
Yeah.
now that Booz Allen Hamilton people, we're thinking about having them come in and talk to you about what's happening in the industry and how to get a job. And
Yeah.
sound good?
That's really good.
Okay, so that's where our plans are. All right, you guys are dismissed. I'm stopping the meeting.
Paul, we're just looking at a picture of Kim